You don't need a class, a seminar, a powwow, all of that to tell you what you should already fucking know before even becoming a fucking teacher.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Just a Girl Show. My name is Janine. If you are new here, if you're new to the channel, of course, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you never miss an episode. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back to the channel. So I just felt like it would be important to continue to talk about things that are, happening within the school system. And a lot of conversations are very taboo to discuss, but it needs to be said. And some people are bold enough and vocal enough to say something that most people are thinking but don't really talk about it, right? And educator myself, and once being, a teenage girl and being in school, I remember, certain girls in school making comments about like the basketball coach or the substitute teacher. Maybe he was cute, maybe he was this, right? Like, again, teenage girls being girls and being attracted to the cute guy, right? Doesn't matter if he's the teacher, but he looks young and, all the things, right? And I think that the conversation is hard to have because people don't want to just be real about what's. I think what makes these conversations difficult is because it's involving children and it's very sensitive, but it's very real, right? I want to share this video for y'all of this. I want to say maybe he's a male teacher or coach or some sort. Basically trying to give advice to future male coaches or teachers in a high school setting. Here's a clip. Let's come back and talk about it.
Flock of Trent checking in. Flock of Trent checking in. Hey, man, somebody got to speak on this shit, bro. So listen, bro. Y'all got to start briefing the male teachers that teach in middle school and high school. Y'all also got to start briefing the coaches. Because one thing, nobody want to talk about the elephant in the room. Y'all got these grown men around these raging hormone young girls that's developing, bro. It need to be spoke on, man. Hey, dog. Don't lose your job over that. Don't lose your family over that. Don't get sent to prison and have a fucking charge on your jacket over that. Because we all got eyes. Y'all can see just like I can see. Them girls is developing fast as a mug. Y'all probably saying, you shouldn't even have to have that conversation with grown men. As a man who know other men, yeah, you got to have that conversation with some motherfuckers. Because you got to let motherfuckers know, hey, bro, you ain't going to get away with that shit. You'll get caught. It's sad, but you got to have that conversation. And everybody who's in coaching and teaching, run from that conversation in high school. You feel me? Because you got girls who sexually active early. You got girls who they think they women because their bodies looking like women and they having women symptoms. You feel me? Now mix that with a motherfucker who ain't never really had women. Don't have the confidence to go shoot at women his age. Man, this motherfucker in a candy store. So I feel like it needs to be briefings early on. It needs to be seminars held specifically for targeting men, telling them why you shouldn't try to indulge in a high school student. Because let's keep it a beam, bro. When we was in high school, the girls in high school was starry-eyed over the motherfucking coaches and older men that was around, bro. They were starry-eyed. So yeah, this is a conversation that needs to be had because there's too much shit popping up in the news. And it's been too much shit. You feel me? Y'all are y'all not talking to y'all coaching staff? Y'all not. You don't want to know why? Because don't nobody want to act. Don't nobody want to be called weird. Oh, you looking at girls? No, nigga, I'm not looking. It's in my fucking face, just like it's in your face. Stop acting like you don't see it. That's why we need to speak about it. Because everybody don't act like they don't see this shit. This shit is right in our face, man.
I think what I heard, and I think I'm hearing it from my educator ears, is I'm trying to make sure that these people are aware of what comes of working in a high school setting, what comes of working with girls who are their mouths are crazy, like you said, they think they're women, they talk like they're women. It's just the reality. It is the reality. So I don't think it has to always be about having sex with a little girl or, wanting to get with her. It can just be how it can come off and how it can look in the perception of working with young girls, right? To be bold enough and vocal enough to say the quiet thing out loud is commendable. Now, everyone has their opinions about it, and this man is going viral and not in the right way, right? A lot of women, Black women at that, are calling him a creep, a pervert. He needs to be investigated. He needs to be, if he works with kids, he needs to be fired. Like they feel like everything he said in the video was blaming the girls and not the males. Also, I think this is the conversation around like the whole, well, just don't look and it shouldn't matter. At the end of the day, there are people out here, men out here who get jobs, and women. Because we see there's a lot of cases where there are women who have slept with their male students, right? A lot of cases of that, but nobody talks about that. But okay, whatever. But we've seen there's a lot of men out here who do get these jobs, and unfortunately, either prey on teenage girls or don't have no problem doing it because it's just who they are, right? But then the other side, I think that this man is saying he's not okay. I think some things don't need to be said. Like I don't need to say it's not okay. I think we should just be adults enough to know that he's saying it's not okay to do it, but also wanted to let you know, on top of it, don't risk your career over temptation, right? And as much as we want to believe that these girls are innocent and they can consent and they're children, it's still high school. And unfortunately, high school can be 17 and 18-year-old girls, right? And 18, you're technically an adult. You're consenting, right? I'm not making anything okay. I'm just saying what it is. Because I've seen it. I've seen these girls, and I've had to have these discussions with these kids about how they need to be mindful that this is an adult.
I don't usually hear much around this dialogue often, but I think it's time that we start having more proactive conversations around men in education and how we deal with students of the opposite sex and colleagues, but mostly students. So while I do teach on the college level now, my very first job out of undergrad was teaching 7th grade social studies. Just to give y'all context, this was in a low income area. How I was hired at this school was I joined a program my senior year of college, and this program specifically targeted Black male future educators, and once they graduated, they would place them in under-resourced, low-income school districts. So that was how I got there. More context, there were 12 middle schools in this school district. The school that I was at was ranked number 12, dead last. Keep that in mind. Now, back to men in education and how we deal with students of the opposite sex. Mind y'all, I was the new youngest teacher in the school. I was hip to all the trends because I had just left college. However, I always maintained a high level of dignity, respect, and integrity. I created boundaries with my students so they would never get friend confused with teacher. I am your teacher. But there was one scenario that happened with a student of the opposite sex that completely changed the way I saw my role, my gender in my role. It raised the level of awareness I have for my actions and behaviors in my role, and it served as a catalyst for which I would govern myself with students of the opposite sex for the duration of my career. This is what happened. So it was one particular week, I was teaching middle school. It was towards the end of the year. Students were taking standardized tests. When my class finished, I wasn't going to give any more work after a state test. So I hit up the basketball coach, said, hey, can I bring my class to the gym? He said, yes. We went to the gym, kicked it there for the rest of the day. When we got to the gym, I was sitting over in the corner working on my laptop, and the students were just out there playing. Well, there was this one young lady who was in my class. She was running around playing with her two friends, and what they were doing was they were running by where I was, and they would just scream something really fast, and just run off laughing, just doing what middle school girls do. But it was things like they would come up to me and say, Mr. Gibson, hey, and run off laughing, ha, ha, ha. Mr. Gibson, stop working on that laptop. Run off laughing, ha, ha, ha. But the last time, which was the last time, they ran by me, and I guess she said it so fast she thought I wasn't going to be able to distinguish what she said. But she ran by me with her two friends, and her exact words were, excuse the vulgarity, she said, Mr. Gibson, it looked like you would pop my pussy wide open. And took off running laughing with her friends. Now, if y'all remember at the very beginning, I told y'all this was an under-resourced, low-income area. They did not want to suspend students. I immediately called that student. I wrote her up. I walked her to the principal's office. I called her mother. That student was right back in my class the next day like nothing happened. Laughing, smiling, everything. I remember I was livid. I called my mentor that night, and I almost remember verbatim what he told me. I was telling him about the scenario, and I was mad. I was like, man, she can't say that to me. Like, do they not discipline kids anymore? Blah, 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 this and that. He said, Jason, you need to resign at the end of the school year. I said, resign? Like, what you mean resign, man? I'm just starting. Like, I'm actually, like, loving what I'm doing. It's just, like, this isolated scenario. And he was like, you need to resign at the end of the school year and either teach down or teach up. I'm talking about go to elementary, which I wasn't about to do, or go to high school. And so I was like, man, why? Like, why do I have to do that? So he said, Jason, let's be honest. You are the new, young, attractive, hip teacher. And you do not want to get in a scenario where you are competing with the imagination of a 12, 13-year-old girl, because it only takes so many times for you to deal with her and respond to her in a way that's not to her liking, where she would develop a vendetta against you. And she may not harm you physically, but she will eventually try to assassinate your character. And when you get in that scenario, not if, when you get there, nobody is going to believe you. And everybody is going to believe her. And I was like, but I ain't do nothing. Like, he was like, that doesn't matter. So I resigned at the end of that year. And I went and got another job until I finished my master's and eventually got into higher ed. But I'm not sharing this to discourage any young males from pursuing a career in K-12 education. I actually encourage it because you are needed, you are necessary. However, I do want to provide best practices for men in education as to how you can, to the best of your ability, avoid situations like this and not get in a situation where you are compromised to the place where it could jeopardize your career. Stay tuned for part 2 for those best practices.
Well, I want to let y'all hear some of the commentary around this video. We're going to come back and talk about it.
So I'm scrolling minding my business, and this guy does a video of like reacting to a guy basically saying that men that teach junior high school and high school need to have a class. He's starting to find, but they need to have a class to tell them that how you shouldn't mess with the young girls. I know they're developing, they thinking they grown, they looking they fast, he basically putting it all on, it's all the girls' fault and how they looking and all that. They fast, they been fucking, they da-da-da-da-da. Don't get caught by them. That you should know that you're going to get caught. You're going to you're never going to make it. But how he doing is framing it and blaming it on the kids. No, bitch. Listen, in high school I had a principal. She had a fat ass. Ass was fat. But them boys knew not to play with her. If they even thought, like, they saying it amongst themselves, but they would never disrespect her. And even if they did, she checked that the way they knew, they don't talk to her like that no more. They don't do nothing like that. They might play nice and be like, oh, Miss White. You know what I'm trying to say? But she got them to do what the fuck they needed to do. You know what I'm trying to say? We had teachers, male teachers, fine. You know what I'm trying to say? We gonna talk amongst ourselves? That's not making us fast, because like you said, you got eyes. We talk amongst ourselves and say, oh, he fine, da-da-da-da-da. If anybody ever got inappropriate by like just saying something like, ooh, Miss, whatever his name is, they check that, and then the kids would know. Everybody already knew. You don't fucking try. But if it's one bold person who tried it, that shit is nipped in the butt. And if you need a class to tell you before, as you made it grown enough to become a teacher, if you need a class to tell you that messing with kids is fucking wrong, you shouldn't fucking be there in the first place. You don't need a class, a seminar, a powwow, all of that to tell you what you should already fucking know before you becoming a fucking teacher. My child is 11 years old, and she know already when she start dating and start doing all, you don't mess with no grown ass man. She already see, and she knows by seeing the TV, be like, why is she messing with this old ass man, or what the? Please, you need to go to jail. You need to fucking catch. You need to remind yourself and stop yourself from tempting and doing all those things so you think everybody else have those. You're nasty.
Teachers that teach in middle school and high school.
It's not normal to be attracted to children. It's not normal to be attracted to children. It is not normal to be attracted and to be lusting after children. Someone go check his phone. Someone go check his iPad. Someone go check his computer. Shoot, at this point, check the Apple Watch too. Because what this man is talking about is not normal. Because what do you mean? You feel like, you need to put a message out there for all of, these coaches and stuff, for saying that they don't warn you about the fact that that your students are going to develop, or that these little girls are more developed. When I tell you, I've never looked at a 13-year-old and noticed anything about them long enough to even notice what their bodies are doing. I don't care how fully developed a 13-year-old is. Lust is not entering my mind in the slightest, because that's a child. A 13-year-old, 13, I'm going to be real, 13 to 22, it would never occur to me to look at them in any kind of way aside from the fact that they are a liability. I'm not locked into what they are doing, what they are thinking, because they're kids. Personally, for me, I can't even talk to anybody under the age of 27. I'm sorry. And even 27 at 33 is still starting to feel, a little bit young. I am not interested in children or in pursuing people who I have substantially more lived experience than. I want to be on equal footing with whoever I am being intimate with or pursuing a relationship with. And the fact that, again, that children have the capacity to get your motor running in any capacity, that's weird. That's not normal. And you don't need to be around children in any capacity. Trying to run this back as if, we took it out of context is crazy, because, again, how else could you have possibly meant that? So, yeah, I don't know where he works. I don't know what he's doing, if people have figured that out. But that's not a normal train of thought. And I feel like this needs to be explored, because what the hell?
So y'all hear, they all feel like they're attacking this man's character and calling him all types of names. And it's crazy, right? I think that what they wanted him to say was, don't do it because it's wrong and they're little girls, period. I think the part that really has thrown people off is him saying that we all have eyes and these girls are developing and they're looking a certain way, right? And we should just say, don't look because they're little girls. Everyone's not going to not look. Everyone's not going to not look, unfortunately. I think what I heard, and I think I'm hearing it from my educator ears, is I'm trying to make sure that these people are aware of what comes of working in a high school setting. What comes of working with girls who are, their mouths are crazy. Like you said, they think they're women. They talk like they're women. It's just the reality. It is the reality. So I don't think it has to always be about having sex with a little girl or, wanting to get with her. It can just be how it can come off and how it can look in the perception of working with young girls, right?
Baby, let's watch this video and then I'ma respond, because now I'm getting offended. I'm not even gonna lie, bitch. And he ain't even told me to say nothing, but I'ma say this shit because y'all are weird as fuck, like I said in my previous 2 videos.
This is one of the most disturbing videos that I've seen in a very long time.
I gotta start briefing the male teachers that teach in middle school and high school. One thing, nobody want to talk about the elephant in the room. Y'all got these grown men around these raging hormone young girls that's developing, bro. It needs to be spoke on, man. Hey, dog, don't lose your job over that. Don't lose your family over that. Don't get sent to prison and have a fucking charge on your jacket over that. Because we all got eyes. Yeah, you gotta have that conversation with some motherfuckers, because you gotta let motherfuckers know, hey, bro, you ain't gonna get away with that shit.
I think what bothered me the most is the why. You shouldn't be doing this because you're going to get caught. And not because these are children.
Because we all got eyes. The girls are developing fast as a mug.
A child going through puberty does not suddenly become available to adults. So hip spreading, wearing shorts, getting taller, developing breasts is still a child.
Issue number one, it is always the woman, and within the black community, it is always the black woman that lets the children be prey, right? What I don't like is how you got up here and you are trying to break down this man's character. You are trying to disrespect this man and imply that he's a weird ass individual by stating the things that men need to be discussing within our culture, right? Every time a man speaks up, or a black man in general, y'all try to make them out to be weird ass people, but there are a group of people that literally seek out jobs for the efforts of getting children. I find it so weird that whenever people want to have certain conversations, the woman always want to bring emotions and try to make the man look like a weird ass individual. And this is why we don't have a lot of men speaking up, which is why a lot of men don't feel comfortable speaking up on certain things, because y'all are going to portray them in ways of who they are not. Y'all keep wanting to get up here and say, well, her body doesn't this. Fuck all of that. We are on planet Earth, and since the beginning of time, there has been a group of people that will sleep with your child. If your child is acting grown as fuck and they give them the opportunity, there are a group of adults that will do it. Personally, I don't know why he didn't even include the women, but because he's a man of a certain character, he don't like talking on women, but I will. What about the women who get pregnant by the boys in the high schools or the middle schools? Let's talk about that. And this is why children are some of the most unsafe people, because people don't want to have the real conversations that, yes, every school year, the teachers needs to be briefed, coaches need to be briefed about certain shit when it includes interacting with children. Yes, because every year there is a teacher that will fuck your child if they give them the opportunity to. If your child is a weak, gullible child and you have not prepared them for the world, your child might get touched on because y'all don't protect them.
I just think it's unfortunate that everything boils back down to it has to be your creep. It was nothing educational for them because they only heard it from the lens of, yeah, you're weird. You're trying to protect men who like little girls. You're trying to protect them. Where again, you could be coming from the angle of, I'm not trying to protect them, to let you know it's not worth it. Because there are men who will do it. Unfortunately, we can't sit here and pretend like that's not a real thing. Just like there are women who do it as well. But to find a way, I think, to make it now, this man is a pedophile of some sort is crazy. I think it's crazy. It's so sad. You can disagree with the point, but to twist it in a way to be like, yeah, he must be out here looking at these little girls. Everybody does not have the same moral compass and all of that. Just like the young girls who date older men, same thing, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And it's been this way, unfortunately. So why not have a class? Why not prepare you as an educator working in high school of what it comes with when these kids are who they are? But this is a sensitive topic. Let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comments. Drop it in below. Like the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode soon. Bye.